All right, let's go over the CSP rules, the crypto swap profit rules. This is how we do rules-based training. You're going to want to make sure you print out these rules and review them before each trade. In this lesson, below the video, there'll be a PDF document with these rules. You're going to want to make sure that you understand them and that you read them. And before you start trading, this is the trades that you follow. And understand, you'll learn these over time. If the trade doesn't follow the rules, don't do the trade. That's as simple as that. If the trade doesn't follow the rules, don't do the trade. Now I understand some people will bend a few of the rules, but if you generally find and follow the rules as they are, or most of the rules, you'll have a lot more success. Even after you see the coin moons, it's always better to be safe than sorry. For example, I told everyone in a previous lesson how I almost entered in this GMR right here just before it mooned, and I didn't. And I was tempted with the FOMO to enter in again right here, but I saw my signs and realized it wasn't the right place. Now later on, as I saw that it was starting to wave, I went ahead and did that. But my profits on that are, going to be okay, but not as much as I'd want to be. But you'll beat yourself up and say, man, I could have done that. I could have done that trade. I could have made, X amount of dollars. But it's just life. You just move on. You do another one. But that's called rules-based trading. That's how you limit your losses, limit your risk, limit your ability that you'll get wrecked, and you'll have more success and make more profits. Trading with emotion and FOMO will end up with you being wrecked. And this is how most people, when they're brand new, this is how they invest. They see Dogecoin on TV and they go invest in Dogecoin. They see whatever, someone YouTuber talks about a coin and everyone should buy it, and SafeMoon and all this and Shiba Inu, but the problem is they go buy it at the top and then they get wrecked and they're doing the whole FOMO thing. You don't want to do that. We don't look back at trades and think, what if? I mean, you can look back a little bit and go, oh, yeah, what if? But you use it as a learning experience. You don't beat yourself up over it. We just move on to the next one. There are many, many opportunities to make great returns, so we don't sweat about it. These rules are time tested. However, they can and will change over time as markets change. All right, let's go over the rules here. Now, again, you'll be able to print these out, make notes, and it'll be below the video here in the training. Rule number 1, just because you can buy it doesn't mean you should buy it. Slow down, follow the rules. A very common thing is to someone to hear about SafeMoon or Shiba Inu or GMR and then race, and their heart starts racing and they're looking at charts and they're like, should I get in? 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 Get in! But they don't even look at the rules. They're in. They just want to get in. They want to be part of it. They want to be part of something. That is emotion-based training, and that will get you wrecked. Rule number 2, I am not putting more than 10% of my portfolio into a single buy. This will protect you, because if you have a bad trade, and you will have a bad trade where you lose money, if you're putting everything, all the farm, like the Dogecoin millionaire guy, put $180,000 on Dogecoin. Very few people ever make it like him. I'm going to predict. I watched another interview with him the other day that he wasn't selling. I'll bet you Dogecoin goes down again. It'll have its pumps, but why not take your profits and then go re-buy again when it's low? He doesn't understand. You understand. You're going to understand. But I'm not putting more than 10% of my portfolio into a single buy, and that protects you. I have verified the contract address is correct before the initial buy. Remember, the contract address of a project will always be listed in official places. For example, if I am going to the gainers and losers and CoinMarketCap has listed FairSafe, I can go look at FairSafe, and this is the contract address right there, that number. And I can go over to bscscan.com, and I can put that token address in there. and I can look at that token address and I can see that it's at least owned by token tracker fairsafe fsafe. Now this doesn't mean that it's for sure the right one. If you're on CoinMarketCap, it's the right one. If it's on CoinGecko, it's the right one. If it's on the official website, it's the right one. But beware of thieves and scoundrels who will try to trick you. So there's a lot of things you can do at these BS scans. So I have verified that the contract address is correct before the initial buy so that I do not send my money away to scammers. I have researched the project and I know the basics of the token and the coin. So example, I looked at GMR, for example, and I looked at the tokenomics and I researched them, their plan and their audits and their team, and I see that they're real. They're a real company. Where are they based out of? Maybe I visited their Twitter, looked at their Twitter, and I've seen that they're real, that they actually have, they're a real company. You know, listen, fake companies can set up Twitter too, but all these things combined can tell you that they are a real company. So I've researched the project. I know the basics of the tokenomics of the coin. I know how the coin works before I just start throwing my money at it. For example, GMR, on the tokenomics, they have a 10% tax. And the way you know that is when you read this is they have 1 quadrillion total supply, 50% burn on launch, 5% reserved for development and marketing, 5% reserved for content creators. So they take 10% of every transaction that goes out. So you have a 10% tax. That is kind of a newer thing that's been happening, but it's been super popular. So you have to understand the tokenomics of this, how that works. So yes, I've researched it. I have loaded up the token address in charts, and I have looked at it in the past 48 hours of trade volume. So I'm looking at GMR here. I've loaded up in Bogged Finance. I've also loaded up in other charts as well. So here's another chart here I like dextools.io. And I've looked at it the past 48 hours. Now these charts, they always show in GMT time. So you can go in here. Most of them have a time zone. I'm in Mountain Time. So I can kind of get an idea. It started here May 21st. And actually, let me go ahead and make this a little bigger here so you guys can see the symbols over here. And this kind of shows you how you could do the same thing. It's a way to go in here and make the font bigger. I'll make it 20 so you guys can see it better. So I've looked at it and I can see May 1st, May 5th, May 6th, May 7th. Boy, this has had a lot of volume in here. It's going up and down. Does it meet my criteria? I've looked at the token and the charts and looked at the past 48 hours of trade volume, and I've taken an initial look and gone, wow, this token did really well, and now it's waving here. I am using a bot to monitor trade and sells. So right here I am using a bot to monitor trades and sells right now. I have my stop losses set. I have the tokens I want to buy. I have the tokens I bought and the ones I want to sell at certain prices. And the bot is going to do it for me. It's a semi-automated thing. It's something that you can set, check it at night, check it in the morning, check it throughout the day if you want to. But it's not something that you have to sit in front of all day long. So I'm using a bot. If the token is brand new, has it at least a 50% increase since the launch, then it's okay to enter the trade. So I'm looking at this right here, and I can go over, actually let me go over to this chart here so you guys can all see it a little better. So if I go to percentage here and see, I'm looking right here, if I look at that and I see that it's gone up 50%, well my gosh, yeah, it's gone way up 50%. It went up more than 50% from the time of launch. The token is brand new, is at 50% increase since launch. It is okay to enter the trade with a 10% stop loss. Well, we're going to go over the bots that we use, but I do want to talk about what a stop loss is. If I go into my token here and I have something called a stop loss, where I can say, if the token gets to this price, sell it all, get me out of the trade, abandon ship, get me out. Because sometimes what can happen with these coins is you can get into a coin and it just starts diving, and you set your stop loss to get out. And that actually happened to me today. I think I lost about 20 bucks because it was a trade. It was I had one BNB and there was worth about $677. But yesterday I had actually made $486 on that same token, and so I was able to get out of that trade. I didn't have to do it. My bot did it. I noticed my bot had sold it. So you enter a trade. If it's gone up 50% since its launch, enter a trade with a 10% stop loss. And again, we're going to go over the details of how you do that with the bots. I'm just kind of showing you as I go through these. If the token is new and on a steady increase and it has increased 200% without more than a 50% correction, it is okay to enter the trade with a 10% stop loss. So it's kind of like this rule, but it's a newer token, and now it's gone up 200%. So looking here at my percentages here, and I come up, it started at pretty much 0 if you put your thing on the line there, and it goes up, and it gone up 2%. It's gone way past 2%, 200%. So I see that my coin has gone up 200% without a 50% correction. So if I look here, that might have been pretty close right there with 50% correction, but this still would have been a good one to get into. Right here, you'd have made a killing. When I looked at it, it was about right here, and that's close to about when I was going to get into it. The people that got in right here, and they are millionaires. They're probably millionaires now. They got in right here. Depends on how much they invested. If you invested $10, if you invested $100, invested $1,000, it makes a difference. Again, start small. As you get more experience and your portfolio grows, you can take more risk and invest a little more. If the token has increased more than 200%, it's 2 times. Set a 5% trailing buy order for 80% of the price at the lowest sell candle. Woo. Okay, so let's repeat that again. If the token has increased more than 200%, which is 2 times, set a 5% trailing buy order for 80% of the price at the lowest sell candle. So if I'm looking here and I'm back in time, and I'm looking here, and I'm going to switch this back over to the prices here, and this is in BNB price, and that is really important that you're looking at these in the right price denomination. For example, when I use Bog Finance to track these, it has this little toggle for USD and BNB. You want to make sure that you're looking at BNB. Let's see if I can show you another example on this one. This is the DEX Tools.io. The DEX Tools.io will show the BNB price. It'll also show the USD price. You always want to go by the BNB price, and that's what kind of messes people up. I get messed up too. So let's see. I'm looking at here at this chart, and I've seen that it's gone up 2 times, and it's still continuing to go up. I'm going to set a 5% trailing buy order for 80% of the price of the lowest sell candle. So what that means is I'm going to look, and it's gone up 200%, and it's starting to go up and down. I see that sell candle price right there was 0.000, and you can't see all the zeros, 0.0468. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my buy order for 80% of the price of that. So I'm going to take 80%, which is probably about right in there. And I'm going to set my buy price with a 5% trailing buy order. So if I'm using the bot, and again, we haven't gone over all the details of the bot, but if I just kind of show you what that means, I can go in here and I can set, if I had a trailing buy order, I can say set that for 5% and then put my price that I'm going to buy it at. We'll explain more in detail what a trailing buy order is when we get into the bot, but basically that means it's going to go in and it's not going to buy it until it sees that it's going back up again. Because you want to try to avoid buying something when it's going down. You want to start buying it when it's going up. So it'll look and see that it's gone down 5% and then it's started to make its way up, and that's when it's going to buy. If the token is following a wave of at least 100% with the last 2 cycles, okay, it's okay to enter a 5% trailing buy order at the lowest price of the lowest candle. So it's very similar to what we just said here. Let's go back in here and look at this. If I were to go to the current trading, and this one is waving right now, and I could switch over to percentages here, I could see that this thing has been cycling. So I'm good. I follows the rules in the last 2 cycles here. If following the wave at least 100%, but the last 2 cycles are okay to enter a 5% trade. So the last 2 cycles, are we at 100%? And here's a cycle here. And there, 566. That's pretty close right there to 100%. There's another one that's pretty close to 100%. That one's definitely 100%. So this one's still going. This one's still going. It hasn't consolidated yet. So this one would be a good one to do it. And again, you would put a buy order just like we did the other one with a 5% trailing buy order at the lowest price of the lowest candle. So if I look here, that lowest candle right there, I'm still in percentages here. I need to get out of percentages. I would look at that lowest candle here, and I would do 80% of that. But I do see that it's going down again. So I actually might want to go on this last candle and do 80% of that. This one is a questionable one because it's still going down right now. I might want to wait just a little bit just to see if this continues to go up before I place my stop order, because you never know, this could just dive down really quick. A whale could sell. But if I look at the lowest candle right here, I could do 80% of this amount. That probably puts me about right in here, which is probably going to be right. This one's probably going to drop down right here before it starts to go up. You never know. I mean, this is not an exact science, but this will get you pretty close. After you buy the token, let's adjust the stop loss in your bot as the price increases at least 10% below the current price. So for example, I'm looking at this coin here, and when I bought GMR earlier today, I did 2 BNB, and now I'm down a little bit. We'll see if this one comes up. I have a stop loss set for GMR to, let's see, I need to go to GMR to sell. So if I look at my GMR to sell, and I look at my stop loss, on this one, I have my stop loss set at 0.0075. So that one's a little lower. So what you do is I look at the price right here, and it's really small right here. And this is at 4.19 right here per BNB. It's really small. It says 4.19. I've got this set for 0.7. So I was actually putting this one a lot lower than this. So if you come down with your stop loss, and we backtrack a little bit so this makes sense to you, 10%. I can see that the current price, it depends on what I bought it at, but my current price is for all these zeros, the 419. I'd want to go 10% below this to set my stop loss. And then as this coin increases, like you just saw it increase there, when it increases another 10%, I'll go in and edit the stop loss and make it higher and make it higher and make it higher. So pretty soon your stop loss will actually be a profit. And so you'll not sell for a loss, you'll actually move your stop losses up so that you actually can sell for a profit, and then you're hoping that will increase as well. This will make more sense when we go through the training, where we go specifically over the bot. But basically, you want to keep your stop losses. Now, you can choose your stop loss. If you want to do 5%, you want to do 10%, you could do 20%. It all depends on you and your risk, what you don't mind losing if you if a stop loss triggers. But you can keep increasing that stop loss if the coin increases. Okay, you can take your profits out at any point you see fit. Keeping in mind, there are fees and there is slippage. So every transaction you have, there's going to be a fee. Every transaction, there is something called slippage. Now this coin is crazy. It has a 12% slippage, which means there is a 10% tax on this one. That's why I have it set for 12% slippage, because you'll get errors when you go to sell it. Normally, you're going to start out with maybe a 0.5% slippage or a 0.1. It usually tells you it's going to fail, but usually 0.5. Sometimes you have to go to 1%. But some of these meme coins that are coming out, you do 12%. That actually means, it almost always means, you're going to make 12% less than the price that you're seeing there. And just so you know how this works, you don't always get the price that you see exactly right there. You don't get the price until you put the sell order in. So for example, if I'm going to the active scanning of GMR to, oh, actually I have GMR to buy. Apologize, this is a different one I've been looking at this whole time. This is the Australian sheep token. And so I have my stop loss set for 0.2. I actually have this one set quite a bit low. So this one is at 4. So if this one drops in half, I'm selling. You may want to not have a stop loss that low. The reason I have this one is this one keeps shooting up and down, up and down, up and down, and it has some pretty wide swings. And I've done this long enough to know that I'm willing to go ahead and risk that a little bit. But normally when you're new and you're getting started, you don't want to have your stop loss like that. But if it swings up and down really fast, you don't want to place a trade and then boom, you know, your trade's gone in a split second, and then it shoots right back up again. It's kind of nice to have at least a couple minutes to kind of see how it levels off. But that's the beauty of stop losses, is it'll pull you out of a trade if something completely tanks. So let's read this again. Take your profits out at any point you see fit, keeping in mind fees and slippage. You never know how it's going to go. If a coin is pumping fast, it's recommended to take the initial investment out at 2x. If the price is in a wave and doesn't break out after 3 trades, sell at with a trailing 5% sell. So let's go back to our chart and kind of talk about this. This is the part where you get to kind of follow the rules and kind of decide where you want to sell. So if I'm looking here, and if I had entered here in this trade here, and this thing was going up, by the time I got to 200%, I had a decision to make. I could sell 50% of my coin, and now I got back my initial investment, and now I'm just playing with the profit. But the problem is that you do have to think about something. Now you have less coins. So as it goes up, it will be less. Now in this example, and you never know the future, if I had left it all in and it got up here, and then this is a big sell-off right here, big sell-off, this big candle, I could have started panicking, or I would have set my bot to probably sell with my stop loss. So my bot may have even sold me right here. So like I said, you never know the future. Maybe my bot would have sold me and I could have kept some in and it would have kept going up. Like I said, you never know the future, but you know, hindsight's always 20/20, right? So if I look at this, I could have taken my profits at any point along this way. Even right here, even if it dipped here, I'd still be profitable. I could have taken my profits along the way. Well, using that methodology of a buying trailing 5% sell, that helps you catch some of the top of these peaks. And sometimes it's 5%, sometimes it's 2%, sometimes it's 10%. You don't really know. So what that means is, as the coin is starting to go up, it's going up and going up and going up and going up, and then it comes down 10%, sell. That's what it's going to do, as long as it's gone past the price that you have authorized it to trigger it. So that's a good way to help you get to the top of the peak. It's not always foolproof, but it definitely helps. The beauty of it is when you come home at night from work or wherever you've been, and your bot has bought some coins and sold some coins while you've been out, and you've made some profits, or you've pulled out of some trades and you haven't lost anything. Last rule, just take profits at your level of acceptance. 50% to 100% is good. 100% is better. Consider leaving a percentage to moonbag if a coin is going off the charts. And in this example, these people here, if hopefully they didn't cash out all here, because this thing could probably still go up, and that would be the moonbag. And those people here that sold here, hopefully they left a moonbag, because that moonbag, whatever they sold here, they left like 40%. That 40% is probably worth a lot more now at the top there. So take profits at your level of acceptance. 50 to 100%, by the way, is like amazing. Where do you get 50 to 100% return? Where do you get 20% return, 30% return? I mean, those are like awesome, 100%. I mean, there's even some coins that come around where you get 500%, 1,000%. So these are the rules. I went over quite a lot, and this video was pretty long. Print these out, study them. You're not going to be perfect at them, but these are the general rules that you'll follow as you do trades. So moving on here, I want to talk about security in the next lesson, and it's really, really important that you do not skip the next lesson. All right, we'll see you on the next video.